All right, super cool. We're live on the Independent Investor channel, man. I'm super fired up. I picked up a couple of new addictions this week. It was fabulous. I think I've become a boxer. It's just, I don't know, it's riveting, man. It just relieves me. It allows me that escape. It's freaking awesome. So I guess the real takeaway for you guys that have made your way in here, we'll give it a couple seconds. I jumped on a touch early to make that big announcement. There's a couple other things that I want to talk about with channel progress tonight, but I tell you what, I'm really enjoying the podcast opportunity. I've dropped a few links. If you don't catch the links in the discussion section, I've left them in the comments section over on YouTube. So you're going to want to make sure and kick over there, guys. I'm expanding out the opportunity through the Independent Investor channel to a lot of different conduits for you guys. I'm enjoying the heck out of the WhatsApp group. So special shout out to all my Thunder and Lightning crew for sure, man. We're talking about everything from profit taking to Tesla to hot sauce in the group, direct comms. I mean, that thing is robust, man. We're kind of kicking it off, and it'll take one person to drop a good morning in there, and then we're off and running. And I think that's the level of engagement. I can't provide real-time updates through YouTube, nor will I. Okay. I'm not going to sit down. Sometimes I'm not available. Sometimes I'm at work, whatever. But you guys kick on to the independentinvestorgroup.com. Very easy to kick on there. We're giving an exchange rate discount right now. Okay. We've established that in CAD. So for any of you exchange rate gurus out there, it works out to about $20 a year. And we've probably provided that value and then some. And the people that are in that WhatsApp group would absolutely agree with me. We've probably provided that value just in this week, because I kind of feel like this product this week has had its first opportunity to get legs, and it absolutely will grow legs. There's no doubt about it. And the discussions in that group are real time, and I'm rolling out as specific an opportunity there to get to know the investors in there, really understand where they're coming from, answering the big three questions. What is risk tolerance? What is your portfolio? What's your investing goals? It makes me that much more effective as an influencer talking about opportunities in the market. There was some profit taking initiative this week for me on Monday. Personally, I was able to share that with the WhatsApp group and generate a discussion about portfolio repositioning, rebalancing. I thought tech had run a little bit, so I took some profits there. Live to fight another day. I could be wrong, but one thing you guys are going to understand about me is I have to be a little bit more diplomatic over my YouTube opportunity with such an awesome audience. In a WhatsApp group, I don't screw around. I get right to the chase. I tell you how it is. If I disagree with a stock pick or recommendation, I'll let you know. But it's a lot more of an engaging opportunity. So I highly encourage you to kick over there. It's my job to provide the opportunity. It's your job to walk through the door. It's just that simple. That's all I'm going to say about that. The podcast for this week was Investing Breakdown. I talk about, in my opinion, what investing is and what investing is not. So if you're not a subscriber to the podcast, honestly, I have some subscribers to that message that have been touched, and I do have some shout outs of the week for sure. Number one is for Matthew C. And if you guys have the opportunity to go on there, catch the podcast, you guys can send me a voice message directly. And Matthew C sent me a message, and holy smokes, guys, man, I never could have imagined getting this level of motivation on the Independent Investor channel to provide my insights and to reach somebody that I would have never had the opportunity to reach somewhere in Europe. I don't know what country they were from, but sent me a super good message talking about hard and soft dollars earned. It's a psychology that if you understand, it'll make you that much stronger in our mission for wealth building. And, that opportunity, if you do catch that and you want to send me a voice message, I reply to all of them. So it's kind of a cool opportunity for you. If you don't want to subscribe to the podcast, you don't have to. You can save it in your favorites, check in every now and then. Of course, I do share that opportunity through the Facebook group as well. So if you're not part of the Facebook group, again, just another free opportunity, man, to join and just become a little bit more deeply rooted in the community. I've got Jerry standing by in the back door, the broadcast studio. I'm going to bring him on as well. Had some great conversation this week. It's kind of cool, man, because I feel like I can get to know people better, especially out of some of these newer opportunities that I've got. And it certainly makes me a better influencer. It makes me a better investor myself, but being provided the opportunity to get to know what people's needs are, that's the opportunity right there. So shout out to Becky, who's always been super, super supportive of the message. She is part of the WhatsApp group as well. And I can't tell you how excited I am to meet such awesome people. And in one word, the same way I feel about a lot of the people in this community that make their way in to talk and revolve around this topic once a week for the fastest 60 minutes of the week for me. I just can't tell you how excited I am to assist in the capacity that I'm allowed to assist. And the irony in the whole thing is my other shout out for the week is for Megan, who's our 22-year-old investor who made their way to the channel, sought me out, has just finished RN school. So shout out from the Independent Investor channel, man. I love that success, man. Putting that success in the hands of the youth. And we were able to have a general discussion about planting trees and how planting those trees bear fruit. I was able to walk her through the compounding exercise, provide that file for her, and she was rest assured that an RN could not be a millionaire down the line. And we debunked that myth for sure for Megan. So shout out to Megan on the Independent Investor, certainly. And a shout out to my nephew who's probably watching from Oregon as well. Special shout out to Caleb if he's catching it, man, for sure. I told him I'd make him famous on the Independent Investor channel live stream. But I do want to get to the comments, man. I saw a ton of people pop in here. General visitors of the channel. I know Dave with Hidden Freedom Investing was one of the top ones that kicked in here. Michael Kruger as well is in the group, who has just been anointed his wrench. So use it wisely, my friend. It comes with a great deal of responsibility. Michael Kruger was first in the group tonight for sure. And Christopher Blaine, good friend of the channel, man. Wouldn't be the same without you. Bob Wright's in the group here. Awesome to see you guys, man. Fantastic. Retire with Options, man, says I invest with a dartboard. I don't need a ladder. I was kind of kidding with him as long as the dartboard hits Tesla. Not to discuss the elephant in the room. Tesla's been an interesting discussion this week. J-Mac could feel me getting fired up on his live stream on Wednesday, and I thought that was kind of funny, man. I've been doing this a long time, and I don't typically get fired up. Try to probe a discussion on his live stream, which was 5 deep, and it was really good. So shout out to J-Mac Investing for bringing the community together on Wednesday night. If you missed it, you're going to want to go back and catch it because it was a really good discussion, man. Jerry with GW Life TV was in the house. Dave with Hidden Freedom. Dan with Ethos Investing as well. Rico Suave Investing. It was a really good show, man. I enjoyed it. It was fun. Why not? You know, what else are you going to do with your time? You're going to catch reruns of The Price is Right? I don't think so, man. Why don't you spend a little bit more time taking an awareness piece? Because I tell you what, my hats go off to these channel creators that are spending their time putting content on YouTube as a part of this grander community. No doubt about it. It's really nice to see the ideas branching out. It's really nice to see some of the successes being rendered. You got to understand, guys, I sit back and kind of watch the show sometimes, man. And what's going on with some of these channels like Gen X Dividend Investor, J-Mac Investing, Passive Income Investor, who's always hustling, man. He said he's taking a day off tomorrow. I gave him a little bit of guff, and I was like, nah, man, nah, man. Guys your age and as hard of workers as you don't take days off, man. Come on. And we do it for you guys. We really do. We do it to make ourselves better. I've always said that if you can teach investing, offer a tutorial on how it is you view this game, the better off you'll be. You'll be a better you'd be better at your own personal application, but people will certainly be able to benefit from your message as well. So very, very cool stuff, man. I really appreciate it. But I'm going to work through. I got all good in the group. I just want to make sure that I get all these shout outs here, man. Jerry's standing by, and I got Kyle as well. So we've got a jam-packed program tonight. I want you guys to understand, please, I've branched out in 3 different categories. I am now a blogger. I really don't even know what that means, but shout out to Kyle with passive income investing, man. He kind of helped me establish a framework and helped fine tune my product. And I'll be forever grateful to Kyle, no doubt about it. And certainly shout out to Kyle. It was pretty impressive what he does. I don't know, man. He's pretty impressive when it comes to the back end of technology and how the world is connected now, guys. And make no mistake, if you're part of this community, you are absolutely part of that. In one word, network. And I put a lot of value in that. I really do. So hope you guys feel the same. Welcome to the live stream tonight. I really appreciate everybody's time. Raga Muffin is in the house. Appreciate it. Ethos Investing as well. Dan, appreciated your message, man. Calm, cool, and collected on Wednesday. It was awesome. Really cool. Jay's a good facilitator. It was pretty cool. It was a pretty busy panel, I thought. But it was really good, man. I really enjoyed that. It's a lot of fun to bring people together like that. And you know, when we're producing our own individual content, well, that's fine. That's what we're doing. But it's nice to come together and get those updates on how everybody's doing for sure. There's J-Mac. He prefers the rocket, man. I tell you what. So I'm going to get into that lesson if I do have just a few moments. Obviously, the title was aimed to discuss all the different awareness pieces to the stock market right now. There's a lot of new opportunities. Hell, I didn't know what a SPAC was a couple months ago. And to provide those opportunities through the group, I think the perspective that I drew between my 2 shout outs here, between the more established portfolio and the young 22-year-old is, does everybody need to invest in SPACs? And Jay would agree with me. The answer is no. But it doesn't hurt you to have some awareness and have some fair expectations, really understand what you're investing in before you invest in it. But I got to tell you, the discussion for the young 22-year-old did not go outside of VTI, the total stock market index. You bet, man. It would have been advice that I would have killed for at 22 years old, baby. Fall into that, keep it for 40 years, you're good to go. And you don't have to make it more difficult than that. I think with folks that are dabbling in the SPACs, I think that we'll probably need to keep it in check a little bit, as I and he has. I've heard him many, many times heed that warning. I'm just not sure if the masses at 100% are hearing those. So some people have got to learn the hard way. That's totally fine. I like my SPACs just as much today as I did a week ago or 2 weeks ago or a month ago. And, it'll be a bad investment until it makes money, So you got to have some perspective about these things. And if you had unfair expectations about a little bit of speculation in your portfolio, man, perhaps maybe this has given you a little bit of insight as SPACs have come off a little bit, that they're just having a hard time value right now. That's what happens. I've been doing this a long time, guys. So it'll be fun to see where they go. And there is no news whatsoever. Very, very spotty, especially on my favorite SPAC right now. So we'll continue to monitor that. We'll continue to provide those insights to you guys. But I'm going to bring the passive income investor on just for a couple minutes. He's going to say hello. I can scan through the comments as well. He is going to be present with Matt Money after here, coming on at 10 o'clock as well. I will be in that live stream as well. You guys have got to give me 5 or so minutes to get in there. There's a few things I got to do on YouTube when I put this up, because you notice this live stream is that there's no commercials during it. Live streams are awesome because we can engage and we can't waste our time with ads. But when I do put it on there, I go ahead and do monetize the product, and that way the folks that catch it after, I can catch a little compensation for my time. So if Kyle's ready, man, I'm going to bring him on, and we're going to wrap a little bit. Awesome. Kyle, what's going on, man? Good evening to you. The greatest
good evening
on
to
YouTube,
you,
man.
Well, at least somebody thinks so. Someone appreciates. Not to be too cocky, obviously, but working hard, man, hustling. I don't know what we could go on about. Geez, it's been a pretty wild week. We can talk about Tesla.
Tesla. You know, not to mention that was pretty feisty discussion. It was pretty interesting, and I really don't. It was funny. He was like, well, you know, Ryan's getting kind of emotional about this deal, and that's far from the truth. I was explaining to you a little bit about. I did liquidate my small position in M1 Finance. It's the first liquidation that I've actually had in M1 on Tesla. Cut both Tesla and Netflix out, and I'll probably cancel my subscription with Netflix, to be honest with you. And
you're really hitting them hard.
You know, hey, look, if my perspective, I think their original content is great. I think they burn through money like crazy, but their catalog really isn't that impressive, to be honest with you. I can get just as impressive a catalog off of Roku, and do it free of charge. Go buy the unit from Walmart, and I'm hooked into Roku quick.
Yeah, so there's too much diversification in the content. Like you could now they're splitting up between Apple, between Amazon Prime. Like it's such a competitive market now for Netflix. So I mean, I don't blame you for ditching at all. Considering most of us, unfortunately, have just pirated anyways, because Amazon sells the Android boxes where you just pirate it all. Amazon's probably the biggest supporter of pirating, if anything. Let's be real. But yeah, man, it's been a pretty wild for the sell off there. I mean, I took some Tesla profit for sure. Things are I'm still keeping some shares. I got 6 shares still, but the comments have been hilarious. I've been getting flack on both ends. You know, people either salty because you're making too much money, or people that are just salty because they didn't get in, and now they're like buying in at 16 and 1700, and they're like, oh well, I bought at 16. You're selling.
I got some heat this week for investing like an old man, and I was like, man, I'm 42. What are you talking about? This guy was really hammering me hard. I had to block him from the channel. I'm surprised I don't see him in the live stream. Like, I'm going to come on and get that sucker. But it's like, dude, you got to take a step back, man. This is just investing. All right. This isn't a theme park. All right. This isn't a professional football game. It's investing. All right. I know everybody wants to inject emotion into this thing, but for those deliberators out there that are looking at the landscape right now, I just felt like tech was a little bit overvalued. I still own tech in the ETF, but as far as some of my single stocks and liquidating some of the taxable and reducing some of the taxable and raising a little bit of cash from a portfolio management perspective, that's what I did this week. And I could have been wrong. It turned out I was right. It's just like any other investment. It's like Hyliion. I'll be wrong until I'm right, you know? But the last thing I think of is, oh my gosh, you know, this is the terrible thing. You really have to go through that deliberation before you enter into a stock like that. It has to make sense for you. And I just think for a lot of people, maybe it doesn't make sense. And I feel that way about Tesla. I really do. For you, it makes sense.
They're hard plays though, right? Because the only time you make real money at these kind of stocks is you have to get into them before anybody cares, or when people ridicule the crap out of the company. I mean, I was just joking in your chat group. I couldn't believe it. Some guy went back a year ago on my YouTube channel, found the video I posted where I was getting made fun of, and I was jabbing, like I was actually pulling up the comments of people making fun of me, people jabbing Tesla, because I was down 40% on the position a year ago. And now this guy's just like, all he commented on the video was 1500 ... And I was like, I
don't really understand why people get off on people's like lack of success, or they're jealous about people's success. I really never understood that. And it seems like that's the groupthink mentality. Like, you got to watch out for that stuff. Is that just part of the game, or what?
I love it. I honestly love it.
I know you do.
When you get to that level, you're making it. You're making it when you get trolls following you around, man. We got people in our chat group that makes memes out of me now.
I had to block this guy, man. He was stalking me, man. I was like, Jesus Christ, let it go. It's all right, man. Calm down. he's taking Tylenol, that independent man. He accused me of making all kinds of money. And it's like, dude, if you only knew the truth, I basically do this project for free. I'm making a little stipend on the side, but good grief, give me a little credit, man.
People need to take a breath. I hate when this happens to stocks. I love Tesla with a passion, but the same thing I told you, in the long term, 5 to 10 years from now, I think it's going to be great. But right now, like, it'll do what Amazon did. It'll get so hyped up, and then you're going to get a massive pullback, and it won't do anything for 5 years. Like, they're going to reach a max peak. And just because look at anything that happens in a new sector. You had the MJ sector, same thing. Yep. Everybody and their grandmother wanted in before it was generating revenue. We don't know what the outcomes are. Nobody does. So to gamble on it right now is just so unbelievably risky in the macro aspect of things. If you think you're going to make another 300% return on Tesla, I mean, you're hoping it becomes worth over $1 trillion in the next year, which is just so far out to town when there's no revenue coming in on any of their things yet, with self-driving, with solar panels. I mean, it's solar panels. Stretch.
So that's the key with Tesla, man, long term. I think Elon Musk, I saw a really crazy good interview. I like Tesla as a company, man. Don't get me wrong.
I love it long term.
I'm a lot more bullish now than I was before, because they've really gone through a transition, man. I mean, they're turning out profit. They're going to get listed. That's great. It shouldn't affect the stock price. So we need to drop that myth a little bit. But if you're going to own Tesla here, own it or own it not. Okay? Don't be squished in the middle. Don't come to me and be like, is now the time? I don't know. With any stock, it's individual that you need to look at. Does it fit in the portfolio? Does it make sense for you? What is your goal? What do you know about the company, for crying out loud? How about that for a question?
Yeah. No, people, if you're getting into Tesla now, I think you're too late. I don't think it's a jump in game now. I think if you wanted to get exposure to tech in a moderate way, but it's dumb. I'm sorry, but it's a dumb investment. If you're buying it today, hoping you're going to make a real, like, you're probably on Robinhood buying what, a 0.5, 20% of a share at most. And you're like this, and you get into the excitement, but it's just like, I don't know. I'm a value investor at heart, like I was telling you. And when there's no sense to the income aspect of things, sooner or later that catches up. They have to prove this sooner or later. And even if they prove it, it's still going to take them years to price it in. It's the same thing that happened with Nikola, but at least Tesla had something backing it. But Nikola was like Tesla on crack. Like, it just went way out to town, and nobody recognizes that. Like, they're like, no, this is great. Like, they're EV, this should be happening. And it's like, are you maddening? Like, look at what this guy's doing, buying mansions, has no factories, has nothing, and just banked like 30 billion at the top. Probably walked away with a few $100 million, and it doesn't matter to him anymore. And now he's like battering off ARK Invest, and he's trying to get on their podcast saying her fund is shit. And I'm just like, bro, you're becoming a clown. Like, step back, just do a good job. Stop being like this face figure for a company. Like, just do the work.
Out.
Shut your mouth.
Bow out. Bow out. Stage left.
I'm like,
man.
I don't want. Like, it's the worst thing a CEO can ever do, man. Anytime, like, look at what happened to Bill Ackman when he went off the rails with the whole story. I mean, Bill Ackman, that like ruined his personality. Like, he was told not to go on TV for years because of that. Like, that'll just ruin your brand image so fast. You don't see Tesla getting on stage bitching that they're suing them over the design. Like, it's like, come on, man, be bigger. I don't know. I don't hate the company. I love what they're trying to do, but it's just sometimes, man, that valuation, people just don't get it. And then they get caught into the hype train. I'm looking at stocks no one cares about right now. Like, I'm buying the crap out of like MindMed and some of these drugs and just crazy things that nobody talks about. And it's just like, you're
crazy. You're crazy. You don't come on here. I know you do. You'll learn. If it makes you a millionaire, great. I'm all for it. I'm all for those investors that are, taking those more than aggressive positions. But
I think when you're getting into penny stocks, and the way I look at them is, I don't want a diversified portfolio of penny stocks. I don't want to own 5 SPACs. I don't want to own 5 random penny stocks that have a chance at this or that. I want to own a business, and I want to know what that business has and what the potential outcome is going to be. And this is like, MindMed is the only penny stock I bought in the last 5 years, aside from Canopy Growth Corp. I mean, I've been making a lot of videos on it that the chat group guys have really enjoyed. But if you guys should look into it.
For you. I watch it for you. I watch it. I check it. I spend 3 seconds of checking MindMed for Kyle every single day, and I'm like, God, it's got to break 40.
I won't do the spiel. I won't do the spiel.
Don't do the spiel, man. You got your own live stream, brother. You got your own live stream. All right, man. You take up that time on your live stream. All right. Yeah.
But other than that, if I can boost my ego a little bit aside from the stock stuff, if people are interested, I'm trying to make a video right now on how you license content to Netflix and TV shows, because I was lucky enough just to get some content on a TV show, and it pays really well to just sit here and you just get these offerings and you work out the contract and you don't do much else. And I'm just shocked at how much TV still pays. And I mean, people are not thinking outside the box, stuck at home, and how actually easy it is to get involved in Netflix content today. Because I mean, I'm licensing videos from my YouTube channel, my finance channel, along with the show that just aired from my magic stuff. The show's called Magic Caught on Camera. It's on Amazon Prime, but only available in the US. So like I was telling you, I couldn't even get it in Canada. I had to pirate it because I was so annoyed they didn't send me the show. I had to find a new way of getting it. But that stuff's awesome, man. It's just crazy to me that like there's this whole little unworld that's getting untapped, but people are selling shows to Netflix for like $300,000, $600,000. It's such a crazy niche that's such high paying. And I mean, I'm not making huge dollars here, but we're still talking thousands. So it's just to hand over some footage that you still own. They don't even take the rights to it. They just want a licensing. They just want to say, well, look, you just agree to let us use this. We'll pay you some money, call it a day. But I'm super excited about that, because I feel like, I worked really hard on stuff years ago and it didn't really go as far as I wanted it to. And the fact that it's getting recognition 6 years later and getting paid for it, I was like, oh, wow. I mean, it worked out after the purge of YouTube didn't remove some of my gross shoving quarters in my eye sockets and eating glass. But sorry, I mean, that's a whole nother side segment for people, but it's definitely fascinating. So we could talk a little bit about, sorry.
Well, I wanted to say I appreciate everything you've done for me, man, on the channel. I think it's blossomed out. It's given me a nice opportunity, and I'll sit down 11:30 at night. I won't be tired. I'll knock out a piece of content, and it's exciting for me, man. I've never really felt this engaged with the community when you first start your channel. That was a cool discussion on J-Mac's live stream on Wednesday, because he went around the horn and he asked everybody and got a little insight about what the channel goals were. That was really interesting to me, because you go through all those deliberations and you remember that first 100 subscribers and that first 1,000, and it's like, man, some guy, like, I'm going to bring on Jerry here pretty quick, and it's really cool for me to sit back and watch. And yeah, man.
No, but I think it's awesome, man. The chat group stuff, and I'm glad that I've been able to help you out with the website a bit too. And we're going to keep working on it, obviously, and try and get it up to par. We got a few projects I haven't been able to launch yet. If J-Mac's floating around, I got to send him a message, and I want to pop on his stream just to shoot the shit with him. It's not like we got to promote the website I'm working on. It's been a nightmare and a half, but we finally got it somewhere, and it should hopefully be a week from finalizing. But yeah, I got 10 projects on the go every day. I mean, if it's not Netflix, it's going to be YouTube. If it's not YouTube, it's going to be the stock portfolio. If it's not that, it's the chat group, and then it's the websites. And I told Matt, we got to make a calendar, and every day is going to be dedicated to one of these projects, because they're all really awesome passive income sources. But it's like, if you don't keep up on them, they start slipping away for sure. But I've been having way too much fun with it, man. YouTube's growing. Everyone's growing here. J-Mac's been a prime example of what's capable if you really put the work in. I mean, your channel's exploding. I'm doing better than I've been doing on my YouTube channel. So I mean, it's a real community here, guys. And I just want to throw this in here too. Just go ahead. Sorry, before you, I just want to throw it in, because I thought this was like the best comment ever. There's somebody, yes, no, it's all good. Because this really relates to you, man. And I think it's a tried true method if you want to make it on YouTube. Because somebody posted this on a Facebook group, and they were just asking, like, how do you get, like, how does it make money? How do you get to, like, get viewers? And like, I commented on it, and I just think it's so true that, like, if you want to get really far on YouTube, you got to realize that it's a community of people. And if you're not engaging with those people, why are they engaging with you? I mean, like, I comment and answer every comment on every video now, and like, just getting involved with you and the stuff that you're doing individually, one-on-one, like, all of that just keeps accumulating into this nice, beautiful community of learning, passive income, all this stuff that most people don't believe is possible, and getting them on the right path. So, I mean, you were the one that really started this for most of us, if I'm being honest. I mean, you're OG. I don't know how many other live streamer YouTubers there were. I mean, realistically,
I don't think there were very many. I don't know. I went back and watched my first one last week, and it was pretty funny how raw I was, and how we've evolved the product, and how it's evolved in the community. To be honest with you, there was a few relationships that I built along the way. J-Mac really comes to my mind, I think, who is really hustling, and he still does. Like, that guy's everywhere, man. Dave with Hidden Freedom Investing, those guys, and Gen X, those guys are, I can't do that, man. Like, I hear with what you're saying, but I tell you, when I start stacking up videos, it does become a little difficult to do all the comments and, be engaged. But these products help me gravitate from platform to platform. And I think it changes my, because responding to comments sometimes gets a little bit redundant. It's like, man, come on. Whereas, the WhatsApp group is more engaging. It's more personal. The blog is completely, it's got its own personality, man. And the podcast, holy smokes, man, I'll re-listen to that and I'll be like, how the hell did I do that? So it's tapping into some creativity for me personally. And thank you for the kind words. I really appreciate it, Kyle. I'm going to pop you off, man. I got to get Jerry in the stream here, brother. I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, I'm starting to lag out here. I got to get ready for this stream here, brother. But I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. I can never say thanks enough, man. And we're going to get your website there. I promise you. I got to check in on some of your data, but we're going to get you there. And I just got to shout out Christopher Blaine as well, because he sent me hot sauce. So I just want to say thanks, man. I've been loving it. Awesome.
Dude. Boy's got skill. Dude, he's got skill. We got to get him a website, man. I'm telling you. Dude, it's good.
I know it's great.
Quality. So shout out to Chris.
Anyways, guys. Yeah, always. But I'm lagging here, brother. You guys enjoy your night. I'll catch you after, all right?
See you in the next one, brother. Yep, later. Jerry, I get you in here, man. Fantastic. What's going on, man? Thank you for the discussion this week. It was very, very cool. It was nice to see on J-Mac's live stream on Wednesday. That was really cool. And if you could, man, kind of take the opportunity, update us on the channel status, and I'll kind of put you on the spot and ask you some of the same things, because I found that was really interesting, man, hearing some perspectives. That's why I asked the question and that I did. Enrico Suave picked right up on it, and he was like, yeah, Ryan's asking here why you do YouTube. And I kind of wanted to hear everybody's answer. He gave his. It was interesting, to say the least. And but I think everybody's motivations are different for this. But I think, with the successes that we have and the mistakes that maybe we'll even make too along the ride, I think the community will always probably exist. So what's been going on, my man?
Yeah, I agree. And this has been a nice ride. It has been a nice ride, and I'm enjoying it. And you mentioned something a little bit earlier that it could get a little heavy at times, and that's absolutely for sure. I mean, when I started out, I didn't think I'd be doing what I'm doing now, and but your audience you become a steward, I guess is the right word, to your audience.
Yes.
And you build that rapport with people, and it ends up being real personable. And it's not just you making videos and uploading it to YouTube. It's not that at all. And, a lot of these some up and coming channel creators ask me, about content and this and that. And I go, it's not about the content plays a part, but it's about being personable and being connected and creating that community to grow your channel. And I think that is way bigger than the content.
It could be. I just want to comment on that, because you're so right, man. I'll throw just a constructive compliment to you, Jerry. Your personality comes through to me, and you're so freaking real. I hope you take that to heart, man. I really do. As far as reaching an audience and reaching a community, relatively speaking, I'm a small channel, YouTube channel. I don't really put a whole lot of value in that. I've always said that, and I mean it. I'll be the same fella with however many subscribers I'm destined to have, whatever the hell that means. But the real validation for me is I've always stayed true to my message. And we talked about that a little bit this week, about how important that is. That was some advice that I got right when I started YouTube, people come on and they see this raw Ryan guy talking about something that he's just passionate about, tripping over his own freaking words, right? Can't deliver it with a sharp tongue. You know, I'm getting better at that. I'm not where I want to be, but I want to be there. Okay. And I'll keep pushing the envelope. But when people see how passionate you are about it, how motivated you are, it does open up other opportunities, man, through this network. And if there's new channel creators, if there's subscribers out there, I need them to feel like they're part of something special. I really do. And you hit it on the head, man. I'm getting that validation a lot more frequently, Jerry. I don't know, you know, with a channel like yours, you're a couple thousand subscribers, right? Right now, working
just over 1,400.
14. Okay, so you'll be at 2,000 by the end of the year for sure. It's like Shawshank Redemption, man. You got to keep pressure in time. Pressure in time, man. What? I mean, are you in a rush? You know, of course not. You approach this thing like you do as an investment, and every video is an investment. Every comment, to Kyle's point, it is in fact an investment in the channel. Every thought that you put into video, like, that's why I asked the question, like, what is this video aimed at? What audience am I looking to capture? Where am I aiming the message? I think that's a fair point. And, you know, I think there's a lot of different schools and philosophies about how to build a channel algorithmically. Okay, I'm not the right guy to talk to because I'm building my channel my way. And I've always maintained that the creative content that I maintain, that I want to keep that. I don't want to always be just feeding the beast. I don't want to do that because I think there's people that would recognize that about me and they'd be like, hold on a sec, right? That's not right. And I think I'm very thankful that I've been kind of able to leverage this little bit of a monetization piece to the channel. I've always been very much kind of against that for a few reasons. I've evolved in my thought process there. I've evolved in the level of value that we've provided just this week in conversation. Yeah, some fun, right? It's not a pay for group to get in there and talk about hot sauce, but isn't it? You know, I just think a lot of people, like, I can't be real time through YouTube. Okay, you're getting a pretty good glimpse of my personality through this, but like I explained today in the group, I can be a little bit more scathing in that group. And when you throw, you know, stock picks my way and say, hey, what are your thoughts about Intel right here? I'm going to give you my true feeling, because that's what you're there for. It's an exclusive, closed community, and those opportunities, man, they're out there on the horizon. You just got to be patient for when they come. For sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the long game. I mean, you hit it right on the head with the YouTube. If it's a long game, and you know, I'm evolving. You know, there's little bits and pieces of things that are happening that you know, will just grow over time, and it's just watering that plant, you know, just a little bit every day. And, you know, I think you see success, you know, over a long period of time, just like investing. So it's definitely a one step at a time thing, and taking advantage of opportunities and getting on live streams like I am tonight. That's what I've been encouraging some of these folks, is try to get yourself on some live streams, you know, build that community and connect with people, because that's where it's at, you know. So
I think something to add to that, Jerry, as well. It doesn't take but time to get on and start yourself duplicating your branding on some of the other platforms. I can tell you, I think JMac mentioned it on the live stream, but he's really having some really interesting success on Twitter. It's a mystery to me, that of which I haven't figured out. But Jason likes to shake it up, you know, and Twitter's just the forum for it. And him and Matt together are a couple powerhouses over there, kicking over rocks, you know, looking for people, you know, what's the next.
That's the trouble for me. I mean, you know, me being middle-aged, you could say, man, this is tough figuring out all these social media stuff. Yeah. I was never a social media guy, and now here I am tweetering and Instagramming and Facebooking and Discording and all this stuff and YouTube commenting and community tab. And I'm like, holy cow, man. And now I'm probably working up a website that's in the works. And it's like, geez, man, it's like, it's work. And it doesn't, a lot of people will get that impression that YouTube is just, you just upload some videos and throw it up there. No, if you want to build something, it's work. That's why it's called building something.
I think you're going through, I'm sensing from you what every YouTube creator goes through in like, where do I spend my time? That's the key. And I think I got a little feedback, Jerry. Do I have feedback on your computer? Do you want to mute a tab? I think I'm good now.
How about
anyway? Now? Yeah, I'm good now. But what was I talking about? I lost my train of thought.
Where to put your time?
Yeah, so this is kind of part of the reason why I hungered for those additional platforms like the WhatsApp group. It was time. If I had tried to take on everything in the world at the start, I would have been overwhelmed. But some people know actually my method to madness to getting constant content onto YouTube. And to be honest with you, I've got it down to an art. And that's what I would recommend is try to figure out what really works for you. And if you can shave off a couple minutes of your upload schedule, of your editing schedule, like if you're overanalyzing your editing and you can scale back on it, you notice like I've got a few edit pieces that I do. I've got an end cap and a beginning. That'll really kind of help you streamline the process. And once you get those processes streamlined, then you can kind of branch out into some of those others. Because like I said, establishing a Twitter, and for me, the Facebook group was my very first platform. And JMac will tell you the same thing, to expand that little piece and give people options. It's like walking into the GW Life TV department store, and you got to make sure that the shelves are stocked, because I think your personality is going to sell it fine. You're going to be fine down the line. I mean, you're going to build this YouTube project up. It's a business that has unlimited upside potential with very little overhead. Isn't that attractive? It's attractive to me.
That's extremely attractive. And like I was telling JMac on Wednesday stream, you and him were my beginnings, really. I mean, when you guys both had me on back in December or January, I think it was, I was sitting at 90 subscribers. And here we are, most people would have quit. That's what I think. And there's a lot of people that quit this YouTube thing and they just don't play the long game. It's just like investing. You got to play this long game. And then you got to figure out if you really want to do it, and you got to figure out your lane. Once you figure out your lane, you just got to, manage that lane, just like your store.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I give myself some kudos for keeping this thing going as long as I have, and I'm at a point now where I've caught fire. But I'm going to tell you, man, evolution of how long I've been doing this. You go through swoons of motivation, man. You do, like, well, why? What am I doing? Like, I just, you can look at your portfolio at any given time and say, why am I doing this? This just isn't moving quick enough. What am I doing? Why? And it's the same fundamental lesson, man. You can't look at things in spots of time and try to justify and validate within spots of time why you're doing certain things, man. That's life. All right. It just, man, enjoy it a little bit. And if you're not enjoying YouTube and you can't keep it under wraps a little bit and it starts to become, because this gig can become consuming. All right. It can. There's no doubt. That's why I'm thankful of every minute that every person who wants to come in and jam with us on a Friday live stream. But I do contend that this is a topic that needs to be discussed more. And we're a cut above. This podcast that I'm going to release this week is going to be on higher thinking. And how much time do you spend on your commute thinking about getting somewhere? How much time do you spend thinking about where you want to be and not necessarily where you are? Those are some of the higher thinking things. What's one vice that you can cut out of your life? You know, are you smoking too much? Are you drinking? Do you not exercise? A diet, etc. All those things that we know that are good for us, but are a lot harder to actually pick one and be like, you know what? I'm going to try to conquer this. I'm going to conquer it, and just make yourself a better person. And this is what this group is for me specifically. There's a lot of like-minded people revolving around personal empowerment, financial, yes. But you know my piece on that, Jerry, man. Finances is something that should be an ever-evolving craft. It should be something that's with you the rest of your life. I find all the time that finances doesn't even register. They don't know. Or it does register by nature of the fact that they've been very lucky and maybe even lucrative over the course of their life, but they're disorganized. How can we organize this situation to not be so much of a burden? Because I talk to people all the time, man, and they are consumed by their finances. They're consumed by life. We need to put these things in their specific swim lanes and keep them there. You'll be so much more happy. You really will.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you talked about Intel. You're not taking advantage of the dip, huh?
Well, I might. That's the third on the old tech. I do own a pretty good chunk of Cisco. I took profits in one of the trading positions in IBM. Significantly bullish on IBM. IBM is kind of a standalone. Their reoccurring business is incredible. Their Red Hat acquisition finally paid off this quarter. It is still a show me potential with IBM. Cisco's always been one of my favorites. It's one of those that I could consider a cornerstone in the portfolio. I've always liked Intel. I really have. The problem with Intel is it's out of favor. And the street is not quite so bullish on Intel, and AMD can do no wrong. I look into AMD and I can't justify buying the position right here, even though I do believe they're taking share. I think if you wanted to take Intel here, I'm surprised. I didn't monitor Intel today, but somebody said that it went below 50 today. Is that correct?
I bought my first 10 shares at $49.95.
I saw you put that. I saw you put that in the group, and I was like, did he misprint that? That's a pretty good entry, man. That's hurting an awful big company. And look, they beat on the top and bottom line. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, they're losing market share. So they're going to have to figure out a way to get competitive. The chip space is extremely competitive. Applied Materials out there. Of course, NVIDIA, probably number one. A handful of other chip companies as well, AMD, and chips as a holistic sector. I do own just a touch of NVIDIA right now, and I've owned Intel many, many times in the past. And I got to be honest with you, man, I've made money every single time with Intel. Every time. It's one of those good cornerstones. I'm surprised. I'd like to see a do-up on Intel. If there was a couple stocks, I know Gen X has mentioned IBM and Intel and Cisco mentioned, but doesn't own any of the three of the big tech. And I'd be kind of interested to know, he doesn't do a lot of changes in the portfolio, nor does he need to, right? But really like to know the thoughts on those, on the old tech right now, because there is a tech rotation going on right now. If you want to disagree with me now, you would be wrong. I could be wrong starting Monday of next week, right? Because those stocks have really had a lot of tailwind. Microsoft and Apple, I've never seen these stocks run up like they have. And again, it's just a stock. It's just a company. So if I'm going to ride them in my chariots of fire onto the sunset, that's one way of investing. I don't really care. I'm not married to a stock. So I took profits this week, and it just so happened to be the right time. I'm off 23 bits on my sale price at $3.93 in Apple. So I'll monitor the stock. If it comes down to another attractive level, then I'll jump back in. But I like Intel. I think you made a good stab at it, and I think your entry is really good. And what, 2.5%, 3% dividend to boot? Yes.
I think it's
2.5.
2.5 roughly. Yeah, I think so. I think
so.
I was having a conversation with a guy on Discord and on the WhatsApp group because I had speaking of just Intel, I saw a news line. J-Mac. I saw a news line that said pretty much all of California schools are starting online in the fall.
Yep.
All the the state of California is short 1 million laptops.
Yep.
For the students.
Yep.
Now, the majority of those laptops will probably hold Intel chips, is my guess. It's just a guess. Now you multiply that across the country. I don't know. Maybe this is an opportunity. I'm just thinking of headlines and things like that. I don't really play news, but I thought that was interesting.
Don't play news, and I've sat back and watched you transition as an investor, and I'm going to tell you, doing those value pickings, you can live to fight another day by entering into these good quality companies. Yeah, they may go through a little swoon here. I think it's going to be short-lived with Intel. I think you're being given a buying opportunity. That's just my opinion. And I haven't taken a stab at it. I was indisposed today. I didn't have a chance to monitor the market. I was monitoring the action and highly on specifically today while I was at the gym. I was more interested in the action, monitoring the stock price. Just been clobbered. No doubt about it. Just been clobbered and with no news. So I'm really interested in those SPAC plays, and I'm not really interested in putting a lot of new capital to work right here. You know, what I shared in the group was a little bit of profit taking initiative for myself, and that's what I did, and that's fine. I think the risk is to the upside in the market. I just think that I think we're past the worst of it. I really do, and that's the bull in me. That's the problem. Is I just don't see how we can't enter into 2021. I think 2020 has just been a disaster, to be honest with you. I could just chalk this year up as just being a loss, to be honest with you. With that said, can you make money in down markets? Can you make money now? Can you build out your portfolio? Are you going to be in a better position at the end of 2020 going into 2021 as you were at the beginning? The answer is going to be yes for you, and I just think, there's some people suffering right now, and it's just a bad time. This virus is just unrelenting, and people are suffering, man. So my heart goes out,
It really is. Last night I had a friend that texted me from, a few hundred miles away, said he thinks his whole family has it. So
yeah,
it's just, it's not going away. And, have we seen the worst of it? I don't know. I don't think so.
I think we have. I think we have. I think it ripped through like wildfire, and I think the scary part about it is what we didn't know. That's my opinion. I think the way that it ravaged our elderly community when it hit New York and hit some of our most populous cities. I think now you're seeing a transition, whether or not it's morphed into something different, but it's leaving the kids alone for the greatest. And that's probably a silver lining in this whole thing, if I can offer what has just been kind of a dark period, to be honest with you, and I'm such an optimist, man. I just, it's tough to see what's going on right now. I'm such a positive person. It's just sad. It really is.
It is. I swing back and forth from pessimism to optimism. It's tough. It's like you're on a pendulum, just swinging away, and I'm with you. 2020 can go away as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, exactly. Well, any closing remarks, Jerry? I tell you, it's the fastest 60 minutes for me, man. I look so forward to this every single week, and I was going to have you on last week, but my links were broken. I don't know. Mysteriously, it just fixed itself. I don't know what the deal was, but any closing remarks, man? I just want to say I appreciate the dialogue this week, and thank you for being part of my group. That's a VIP group. There's some special stuff going on. What can I say? To be able to converse like that real time, I think we're really just stepping up that ladder in an accelerated manner, the way that I want. And the beneficiaries will be the members of the group. I'll work until I realize that end. People who have known me, watched my online resume for the last 3.5 years, they know how aggressive I am. And see how active I am in that group. So it'll be a fun product to build out and see people succeed. that's just a really, really fun piece to it. And from a subscriber perspective and from a channel creator perspective, it's really nice to see these successes, man. It can't happen soon enough for the entire community. That's my piece.
I absolutely agree. You know, I just want to thank you, you know, for the opportunities and for the different groups and apps and everything else, and just for the vision.
Yeah.
Because I think Kyle touched on it a little bit. You've kind of created that pathway that us channel creators are kind of going down, and you know, it's just you're in the lead and we're bringing up the rear, and it's been great. It really has. And I appreciate all the relationships, especially that I've built over time. Especially there's a ton of people that I talk to that are over here on the comment section side, and I haven't gotten into those, but a ton of people. It's amazing, you know, J-Mac and Dave from Hidden Freedom and Ethos Investing, Stock Ninja, Ryan Giffen, and
For real.
I mean, the list goes on. And I kind of hate naming names because then I end up forgetting somebody, and there's so many of them. And
I know.
But I appreciate all of you. I really do. And thanks for having me.
It makes the staying power that much more. It feels like it's a more part of you, and you're probably more set up to stick with it, I think, if you're part of a bigger support network on YouTube. That's my 2 cents, and I'm going to tell you, man, sometimes you need it. You really do.
Absolutely.
This investing game. Thank you for your time, Jerry. Appreciate you, man. Have a great weekend.
Good weekend.
All the best, brother.
All right,
Take
you
easy.
too. Bye-bye.
Very cool. So I got Stock Ninja stuck on the screen here, man. I didn't have a chance to shout out to Stock Ninja for sure, but I think Jerry summed it up quite well. To thank the guest, to Kyle for sure, and Jerry. I don't know. I'm humbled. There'll be folks that surpass me, no doubt about it. I think with the power of YouTube, anything can happen. Okay, let me be real here for a second. This opportunity to put your message out to the world, what I talked about, that message that I got through my podcast, man, I wish I could tell you. I keep a lot of that stuff to myself to protect anonymity. But if there's any reason to keep going, to keep pushing the envelope on this discussion, that is the reason. Okay? It's not the subscriber number. It's not catching a viral video, man. It's not. It's the ability to meet people that you would have never had the opportunity to meet had it not been for this opportunity. It's just that simple. And you know, you're all part of it. I'm humbled at the opportunity every single Friday for you guys to stop by, say hello. There's a ton of people who admit to me that they watch the live stream and they never comment. They never catch it. They never comment during the stream. And that's okay too. Everybody's got their own angle. Everybody's got their own vision for sure. I didn't get a chance to get into my vision about different strategies about what's going on, but my advice, I guess, going forward in how to tackle this investing game is to understand how you can make it yours. Okay. If it involves SPACs, if it involves dividends, if you think it involves dividends and it may be not your thing and you want to evolve, it's your thing, man. You own it. By all means, evolve. Okay. Don't ever ask for any type of validation from others. You the boss, baby. You the boss. So run it like you're the boss. Okay. You know, we stir up conversation and you'll see conversation go back and forth between subscribers and channel creators alike, because we're trying to further the discussion and we're really trying to hone in on those opportunities in the stock market, man. We really are. We're trying to provide those awareness pieces because the stock market's a tough act to crack. There's no doubt. I've said it many times. It's a humbling place. I think we're more powerful together. I really do. I think if we can communicate in a little bit more real time, then I think that will, in fact, advance the conversation forward. I really do. I do have a longer term vision for this project. And I think each and every person in here that is catching the live stream, each and every person that's taken the time to leave a comment, you are in fact part of this property. There's no doubt about it. And I expect you take that property and make it yours. Make it yours. There's one thing I'm learning in this gig: investing, personal empowerment, personal improvement. I'd like to see that there's a lot of different life coaches in this group, that anybody can join the group and find success in any different way, whether it be J Mac or myself or Jerry or Hidden Freedom, Gen X, and I've got Rebecca Waters, a Questifier for sure, for all those folks that want to retire at 35. I still kind of am enjoyed by that statement for sure. But appreciate you guys' time for sure. I'm going to wrap it up here. We're at 60 minutes, on the fastest 60 minutes on YouTube. There's no doubt about it. We'll continue to roll these out. I've left the links in the comment section on the YouTube video. I would humbly request that you kick over. There's a lot of free opportunities, guys. I could care about the money less if it is something that you want to get a little bit more deeper level of involvement in the community. Kick over there. We're at that impasse now where I'm about as sharp as a tack, and I'll continue to evolve because I'm very, very good at taking a block of wood, carving it out, and making an investor out of it. All right. If you're that raw piece of wood, make your way in there, man. Give us an opportunity to break you down a little bit and make you better. All right. That's always the goal for sure. Kick over for the next live stream. We're going to roll right into it at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Want to thank everybody, the visitors to the Independent Investor Channel live stream. We'll be back next Friday, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It will be the same forum. I'll roll it out guest style. And so if you are interested in being a guest on the live stream, don't hesitate. Take this opportunity. We're providing these opportunities as stepping stones to something so much better in this life. Take advantage. All right. It's there. We provide the door. All you got to do is walk through it. Guys, take it easy. Have a great weekend. We'll catch you next week. Cheers.